Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar. Um, Hi, Piyush. Right.
Hey Arwa, thank you for having
Hi.
me.
Yeah. So, we'll just start in next 2 minutes. Just wait for everyone to join in.
Yeah, am I audible enough?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. Just
Thank you
give
for
me
joining in. Yeah,
just give me a minute, just this minute.
sure.
Sorry.
All right.
Yeah, we can start. Thank you.
Right. Okay, the topic for today's webinar is how AI affects critical thinking and cognitive offloading. AI is becoming a part of our everyday lives, changing the way we work, learn, solve problems, and make decisions. While it's bringing incredible opportunities for every one of us, it also raises important questions for us, like process information and rely on technology. In today's session will help us explore these perspective and understand the balance between leveraging AI and preserving our critical thinking abilities. I'm delighted to introduce our speaker for today, Piyush. Welcome, Piyush, who serves as a consultant for projects and deliveries at Ignatiuz. And Piyush brings valuable experience in delivering technology driven solutions, has a keen interest in understanding how emerging technologies shape the way we work and think. So, Piyush, we are excited to learn from your insights and perspectives on these fascinating topic. Thank you for taking time today to take the session and share your knowledge. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Arwa. And you rightly said that how the technology is changing and AI is emerging. There's a lot that every one
Yeah,
of us could learn, and I'm hopeful that today's session would be, worth a while for everyone.
right. Looking forward to it.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Let me know if it is visible. All right. Is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Great. So, as you mentioned, that today's topic is how AI is affecting critical thinking and cognitive offloading. So we all know that we are so much dependent on AI these days that we are using the output into everything, whether it is writing an email, writing our social media, our projects, and every aspect of our life, not only in professional life. We are using it everywhere, and now it is available to us on our fingertips. Like, name any application that you use and it will have an AI feature inbuilt. So ultimately what is happening is we are offloading our cognitive abilities, our thinking abilities. We are outsourcing that, which is great in a way that we don't have to do a lot of work that we were doing earlier, or uh, think into such a depth that AI could do. But then it has a cost to it, and that is what we have this topic, that how it is affecting our critical thinking and cognitive offloading. So for today's webinar, we have knowledge workers in mind, business analysts, product managers, product owners, project managers who want to harness AI powers without surrendering their greatest professional asset, which is the ability to think clearly, question deeply, and decide wisely. So let me ask you a quick question. I mean, everybody knows that you can generate faster with AI, but are we thinking more carefully? Now, picture this: a product manager at a mid-sized SaaS company needs a comprehensive market research, and he needs it fast. So he prompts an AI tool, gets a polished, confident sounding report in under 2 minutes, schemes it, builds it, brings it with the findings into the product roadmap meeting, and the key analysis is missing here, right? He forgets to identify the key competitors who had pivoted their pricing models. So all of these things are not there. So this does not mean that AI is broken. That does not mean that AI story that we are living right now is not true. The tool did exactly what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to give you answers quickly. It did that. But generating an answer and evaluating it whether that answer has actually right or not needs our cognitive ability or our critical thinking. And we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to say that yeah, we have been in the past not pushed back what AI has given us as an output, right? Not every time we review it, we think about it. We sometimes, because of multiple reasons, we are in a hurry or a lot of other things, we take it what output we get, which is not wrong from a tool perspective, right? But it does not have a lot of critical thinking into it. So being said that, what is cognitive offloading? What is the actual meaning of it? So when we are outsourcing our thinking to AI or to any output or any tool, that is cognitive offloading. So we are outsourcing our thinking to it. There are certain gain of it. There are certain things that we put it at risk. For example, what we gain is the speed of on routine tasks, very less time spent on some of the tasks that would have taken more time, more cognition of ours. We get more time to do more strategic things, less load on our brains. We have to be honest here, right? We just put the inputs, and then when we get the output, we are happy. But what we are putting here at risk is our skills of, as a human or as a product manager or BA. That skill or that automation bias we are missing out. So I'll give you an example, right? When I was working on this topic, as always, I went to chat gpt. I put it this topic out there, not blaming the tool, not blaming any technology. Chat gpt did all in its power to make sure that I do not put the exact title that I'm putting here. It gave me 10 reasons that AI to be used responsibly, or guardrails, and all that stuff. But it was trying its hard that I do not use the exact topic, that how AI is affecting our critical thinking. Why? Because there's an automation bias, and it would be there. It would always remain there. If you ask AI anything, it's gonna reply it in a very positive and a very very sweet tone. But that's not the case every time, right? A lot of times we would need to see the actual side of the things. We cannot just take things on the face value. So that is what automation bias is, and that is also creates a self a sort of a false confidence in us, and also makes us more biased towards things which we might not recognize right now. But if we see the pattern, we will see that there are certain things on which we are becoming biased. So what should be done, right? We cannot take AI out of it. We cannot live without AI, to be honest. Then what needs to be done? Now, AI models are using it. This is another examples that we are taking. Uh, in all three cases, we are showing here AI performed what it was designed to, but the gap was always human review. So the answer is that we have to we have to make sure that we are reviewing whatever we are using, we validate it. And some of the examples of things going wrong is, for example, for a BA use a tool to summarize a 120-page document. The summary was accurate for 90% of 95% of the content, but a single nuisance clause about data residency requirement for EU customers was abstract away. That caused requirement significantly architecture of the product change, and that was surfaced in UAT 2 weeks later. Now 2 weeks is a huge time, right? It's almost one sprint later that you identify that this has to be done differently. So the lesson here is AI summarization compresses by design. Compression means choice what to omit, but those choices are not yours. Those choices are somebody else is taking that choice. So as a human, we have to make sure that we also do our due diligence, our own research, and our own validation before using any of these. Another example of a product manager, AI generated competitor analysis that ranked features across different competitors. The analysis was thorough, but the training data had a knowledge cutoff. Two of the five competitors had shipped the major releases in prior quarter. The PM walked into the strategy session armed with outdated intelligence. It happens most of the time. Most of the time, that information that we see on AI or any of the searches, we are not sure what is the last research. Has it considered the last research? We do not look at the sources a lot of time. So all of this happens, and then this causes redundancy and then information that is stale and then not of any use. Sorry. So the lesson is AI does not know what exactly it should know or what exactly it should show us. It might show outdated data as well, and that is where our own cognition comes into play. Now, there you would find these type of example in any of the role, be it PM, be it project manager, product owner, and everywhere you would always see that AI has done what it was supposed to do, but then it is not on bullseye. It's not 100% on the money. So that is important. And what is missing here is critical thinking. So whatever comes in, whichever technology comes in, we have seen in the past as well, dependency on technology tools. Critical thinking is a skill that cannot be replaced. And what do we mean by critical thinking? So critical thinking uh, is not just fact checking. Fact checking is different. You do not just go and check everything. That's not critical thinking. Critical thinking is active, disciplined process of questioning assumptions, examining the reasons that we have, and considering what could be the alternatives of it. So, you know, there's a lot of reading that if somebody is interested in critical thinking, Edward de Bono, and there are other writers who have done a lot of research on lateral thinking and things like that. So you could see that how critical thinking could be developed, but that's for another day. But the point here is that critical thinking is different than fact checking. You just go and see what is done and where it is done and why it matters. I personally feel that it matters more now than any other time in the history, because now we get information, ideas, everything on simple click of buttons, right? AI can produce output with consistency and accuracy, but are we sure about it? That what we are getting, that there's no assumption that AI has not considered, or there's no questioning that you can do. So that is why it matters most, and that is actual meaning of human in the loop. That just to make sure that whatever output we are getting, we question that, we identify that there could be other alternatives to it. There could be another ways of doing it, rather than just buying the output that AI has generated. So professionals who will be most valuable in AI environment are those who can prompt the best, but those who can evaluate the output as well most rigorously and uh, counter argue with AI that what it is suggesting and how you feel that is not appropriate. So if you would have that kind of conversation with AI, and if you would put your brains into it, you would see much better result out there. So before you act on any AI output, there are three questions that you need to ask, and these are the questions that you don't need a complex review of it. You don't need to go and do a lot of research into it, but you would need to ask these three questions every time. That what's assumed, what is AI assuming, and what would you rather have to be true for this output. So because any output that it generates, there are a lot of assumptions into it. There are a lot of research and a lot of things that is involved. But yeah, it takes a lot of assumptions based on our inputs. So we need to be thorough, and we need to have this question with us that what would have to be true for this output to be correct, right? Are there anything that it is assuming which is not true in our case? And if it is that, then what could be the general best practice, or what could be how you could improve that overall output? That's on us. That's on our um, thinking. So what's missing right now? You have to ask the other question that needs to you need to ask whatever output you're getting, what is missing? Are there any edge cases that you can think of, any opposing views that you can think of, or any caveats that you think are not presented here? You need to be a very critical stakeholder and ask these questions that you know are there any edge cases that you can think of that AI has not thought of? Most likely AI would cover a lot of things, but then there could be a lot of bluff as well. I mean, there could be a lot of things that could not be to the point or too relevant to your use case. So you have to be very much centered on your use case and identify what could be the edge cases that it could miss, or it is very important to look for opposing views. Whatever it is suggesting, are there any opposing views outside of it? Are anything that could be done, or anything that is not presented here, or any information that it sounds vague, it's not 100% looks good or looks accurate to you. So that is very important to ask. Other thing is, and I think this is very important, ask what is a single piece of evidence or information if I found would make me reach a different conclusion. So whenever you get any output, just ask this: what single piece of information, if I had, would change everything, would change the conclusion, would make me go into a different direction? And then you can actually go and see and engage yourself with the output. Take it as a hypothesis that you need to test, not a conclusion. And then you will see that what is the difference that you are generating. So whatever output you're getting, take it as a hypothesis, test it, identify new sets of information, and this will help you enhance your overall AI output. Now, how to do that? So there are three small changes, small habits that you can build out, which would have a huge impact that I feel. So critical thinking is not one-time job. It's not just that you can just do it once and then get it done with. You have to build a practice of it. You have to. It comes. It becomes like a muscle memory. When you start doing it, you would get involved into it, and then you will see that how it is helping you, not only in AI but in across your life or across everything. And you would start questioning all of the things, right? When you start having practice of it. It's not about showing you down, but it's about staying sharp while we move fast. So we are not saying that nobody is doing critical thinking, but yes, it has. If you would compare yourself today and before AI, you would always feel that you were more sharper. You yourself were a sharper in reasoning, but now it has. somehow uh, impacted your patience and overall cognition. So first habit is reason first, then ask AI. Always take at least 60 seconds to 90 seconds uh, before you prompt anything. Put your own views, put your own information on the paper. We hardly do that. We hardly put pen and paper together these days, but that is very much important. uh, Before you write even a single piece of prompt, then first you need to put your thoughts on the paper, put actually what you feel, what you know, what are the things that you do not know, are there any information that you would require further. And then when you think you have the answer of it, and you have the instinct that you're going into right direction, then it is important that you go and write it with AI, or give prompt with the AI. This simple steps activates your prior knowledge, creates a reference point to compare against. When the AI output differs from your reasoning, you can see the gap. You can know that, no, this is what I have written, and this is what I was expecting, and this is not what I got. And you would be able to, go into it, ask counter arguments for it, and that is what the second habit is. After AI gives you an output, follow up with what could be wrong with this analysis. What are the strongest objection to this recommendation? Most of the people do not do this. We always accept the first answer or first output it gives. But AI can be remarkable useful when you play devil's advocate with it, and when you prompt it explicitly to identify its own mistakes, or its own gaps. Use the tool's breadth of knowledge to challenge the tool's own conclusion. This will build intellectual rigor without requiring a lot of review every time. So, and you should do this quite often, that whenever you get an output, counter question it, ask its own logics, ask is, what information it has missed, what type of sources it has used. Nowadays, most of the tool also show you the sources, but then there could be all other, view to it, other POVs that might not have considered. So it is important that you go in and you do that. So, and this question works very well, that what could be wrong with this analysis, what are the strongest objection, what could be the strongest objection to this recommendation. And this will also prepare you, if you're going to present it to any stakeholders, this will also prepare you beforehand, that what type of questions I can get, what type of opposition I can get from the room, and what could be the what could be my answers to it. So in any event, I think this is required, and one should do this. So, and the other habit is validate before deciding. I think we all, most of the time, we validate, but sometimes we don't. You don't need to verify every AI output claim, but instead, one particular claim that it makes, or one particular thing that you think is the highlight of it. You need to go in and validate that. You need to make sure that you know uh, validate it into what could be the industry standard for it, what could be the industry best practice for it. I can take an example. For example, we were using AI to, we were having a conversation when we were discussing one of the technology stake and approach, how that could be done technologically. And then it gave some of the options. And I am not so technical, so I did not ask a lot of questions on the technology specification. I could ask questions on the requirements and then functional. And then when I went and I had a discussion with the room that were full of technical people, then they started asking questions which I didn't thought, that why we were considering this as a backend, not a particular other language. And I had no clue. I was honest there that this is what AI has generated, and given my limited knowledge, I did not validate it. And I think that was wrong on my side. I should have validated that claim. Maybe ask somebody else that what could be the other. diversion to it, what could be the other technology that could be used here. So things like that before you decide anything. And communicating with other team members always help around this. Whatever output you're getting, whether if you are going to present it to a stakeholder or even for your internal discussions, it is always better to get somebody else involved, somebody else who is subject matter expert of it, get involved, and you know um, get validation on it, and then yeah, you use it. So that these are very three habits that I think could be very much helpful, and these can bring a lot of changes into how we are using AI right now. So we are not asking you, or we are not suggesting that you should not use AI. So AI is for speed, your brain is for judgment, and you need to own both. You cannot say that no, this is what I got from AI, this has to be 100% true. No, you cannot do that. You have to use your own brain for judgment. Best knowledge workers in AI era won't be replaced by AI tool. They won't be the ones who prompt faster either. They would be the professional who combine the efficiency of AI with the judgment of a trained, experienced human mind, and who are intentional about which one they are relying at any given moment, whether it is AI output or your own judgment. So the goal is not argumentation, but AI handles the speed. You have to still bring your own wisdom, your own knowledge, accountability, and judgment that no other model can replicate today or would be able to replicate in the future as well. That's something would always remain your key strength or USP. Be as a human. So that being said, we'll go to the questions quickly if there are any, just to revamp or key takeaways that we discussed. Always, when these three questions that I shared for any output that you see, try reasoning before your next major prompt. Use this 30-minute, 60-second, 30-second, 60-second technique where you put your pen on paper, do your own thinking before you put it, and ask AI for counter argument at least once this week. See what type of response you're getting, and go and validate the claims that it is giving rather than just taking it on spot. So that's all I wanted to share today. And if there are any questions, I would be happy to take them out.
Thank you, Piyush, for sharing your valuable insights on the topic that is being increasingly relevant in our personal and professional lives. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, I think we do have certain questions here. See. Yeah. So the question is, what is one simple habit I can practice today to keep my brain sharp while still utilizing AI tools?
Uh, that one practice or that one exercise that you could do that would help in your it's as I mentioned is writing. Whatever prompt you put before that, you write. There are other exercises that you could do in your free time as well. For example, there's one exercise that I have read about is, whenever you see a particular thing, try to make associations of it, and from that association go on to different association. For example, if you see a flag, see what could be associated with that flag, what are the colors of the flag, what color could be used, that color is being used for anything else, or I mean, just create that thought of chain and observe it. That one of the mental exercise that you could do. um, and if you talk about especially uh, in terms of AI, so yeah, put your thoughts on paper. It is very important that you write whatever it could be. It is right or wrong. Nobody's gonna look at it. I have a terrible handwriting, but I would still go in and would try and write few things, even if I'm not able to read it what I've written. So even then, but yeah, it's important to put pen on paper.
Great,
That
great
would be
one.
one thing that I would suggest.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. If no other questions, then we would conclude it here. Thank you everyone for taking out time on a Friday evening, and have a good weekend.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Piyush, for taking
Thank
us
you.
to this wonderful session.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day, everyone. Bye.